Let's talk about tuning a guitar with a floating tremolo system. So, since the trem is floating, it pulls up and pulls down, of course. It goes both up and down. That's floating. So anyway, when you're tuning, you can't start with one string and tune across all 6 strings and go, I am now in tune. Because since it's floating, it's a balancing act between the strings pulling the bridge one way so that the pitch goes down, and the springs in the back pulling the strings, pulling the bridge the other direction, sort of up on the tremolo bar. So it's a balancing act between the two. And it's a fairly thin line where it's balanced. So as soon as you change the tuning on one string, it offsets the balance and the bridge now moves. Okay, so obviously I can show you that. Okay, if I play the G, and then I'm just going to push the E string like I was tuning it, but I'm not going to pluck it, I'm just going to push it. But I'm going to let the G ring, okay, and you'll hear. So, as I increased tension on one string, the other strings, all of them, I just showed you the G, but all of them, as I increased tension on one string, all the other ones decrease tension. So they're trying to sort of keep that balance point again. Then, of course, the opposite is true. If I was to tune the E string down, the G string would go up in pitch. So you have to start with one string, tune all 6, go back, tune them all, go back, until you can go through all the strings and they're all in tune. Then you're at that balance point. Another thing to think about that people don't think about, they should, is if you rest your hand on the bridge. Because obviously when you're tuning, you want to mute all the other strings. So, and most people do it with their right hand. Well, their picking hand, depends if they're righty or lefty. Do it with their picking hand so they can adjust the tuners with their fretting hand. So, your picking hand down by the bridge. If you rest it on the bridge, guess what happens? You push the bridge down, the pitch goes up on the strings. You don't want that. Here's another thing that people don't think about. Okay? So you're not resting your hand on the bridge. Awesome. So now you pluck a string and you kind of press down on all the other strings with your picking hand so that they don't ring sympathetically along with the note, the string you're trying to tune. Okay? If you push down on the strings too much, the pitch of the string you're trying to tune will go down. Okay? So here it go. So if you push the string down, tune it, now when you let go of the strings, it's now sharp. So you have to be very, very careful when you're tuning with a floating tremolo bridge. So hopefully this helped you a little bit. You thought of a couple things that maybe you weren't thinking of.